كان هذا إذا النشيد الوطني الفلبيني وما ثم.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas, and welcome to the second game of Gilas Pilipinas in the second Doha International Cup played there in Doha, Qatar. Hatid po namin ang aksyon and we thank you for joining us. Ang mga kalaban natin for this evening is Lebanon and it's going to be the second game for our kababayans in a span of 24 hours. If you were with us a little earlier, well, not a little, earlier today at about 2 in the morning was tip off against Qatar, the host team, and that was the first game of Gilas Pilipinas in this pocket tournament that this national team is using in preparation not only for the third window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, but also for the FIBA Asia Cup itself, because we are already qualified to compete in the next round. And that's why, as we kept on mentioning earlier in the game against Qatar, that's literally what Coach Tim said, that we're using this pocket tournament in Qatar to prepare for the battles ahead. And parte na rin doon, of course, the two games that are coming up very soon for Gilas as we take on Chinese Taipei and New Zealand. Two away games, double digits in the second half, but Gilas made that rally in the fourth quarter. Justin Brownlee woke up just in time and rally the troops. Eventually, we were able to get the win over Qatar 74-71. Now we're in. If we're talking about Lebanon, this is a team that's also eager to bounce back. As you take a look at Justin Brownlee, you know, Lebanon easily one of the best teams in the region, but in their first game of this Doha International Cup, they dropped their game against Egypt 82 to 70. For them, it was Ate Majok, the veteran, who had been to the Philippines a couple of times, and he has also been a familiar face for those who have followed Gilas for quite some time now, because Majok has certainly been there. At 37 years old, he's been in the scene for quite some time. He powered Lebanon in their first game of this tournament with 17 points and 11 rebounds. However, he did have 5 turnovers. Now, speaking of turnovers, that's another aspect that Gilas will want to clean up in this game, because against Qatar earlier today, well, Gilas Pilipinas had 20 turnovers, and for sure, that's not a number that sits well with Coach Tim Cohn. And as we did mention, it's preparation. It's cleaning up these facets of the game that we will need to improve on if you want to compete and win in the higher levels of competition here in the FIBA scene. So now we see our kababayans packing the arena in Doha, Qatar, just as we expect them to. Qatar University Sports and Events Complex is the venue for today's game. Glad to have you on board. Jot Sulit po, bringing the action from Doha, Qatar. And we're almost set. The starting lineup for Coach Tim Cohn for Gilas Pilipinas: Scotty Thompson, Junmar Fajardo, Dwight Ramos, Carl Tamayo, who came off the bench yesterday, will be starting, and Justin Brownlee wrapping the five up. And for Lebanon, they will have Karim Artel, Gerard Hadidian, Ali Mezer, Karim Zainoun, and Ater Majok as their first five players getting ready. This is going to be an important game for Gilas, not just for the results and the standings of this tournament, but again, it's character building, chemistry building, and confidence building as well, as we have two formidable foes coming up in the third window of the FIBA Asia Cup. Those games in Philippine time or Philippine date will be played on the 20th and on the 23rd. So watch out for those. In the meantime, Mezer, also a veteran point guard for Lebanon. No Arakji for the lineup they're using here, but here's Gilas now. Initial stop, and we get our first crack at the basket. Thompson trying to back down Mezer. Tried to get it to Fajardo, but it's taken away by Lebanon. The Lebanese, the kick out. There was a foul before that shot. Looks like Thompson will be built for that. So Gilas Pilipinas in blue for today's game. Yesterday we wore our whites. Now it's Lebanon in their white jerseys. Matok showing some range. That guy played for UConn in Division One in the States. Also played in the NBA. Had some time with the Los Angeles Lakers. As you see Artel with that putback, putting Lebanon on the board. Gilas moving that ball around. It's Thompson. The kick out. Tamayo, who had just 3 points yesterday. Matok rejects that shot. Lebanon on the run. They turn it over. That's going to go back to Gilas. Way to bounce back and recover for Gilas after that big block on that Tamayo shot. The Philippines did not give up. We went back on D. We got the stop. Now, again, a chance, a brand new chance to score our first points of the game. Thompson. Fajardo will try from the outside. No good. Junmar yesterday finished with 12 points and 7 rebounds as well. Mezer. Two-man game with Matok. He's got Ramos on him. Had to stop, kick it out. And another miss. So scoring has been slow to start this game for both teams, actually. But only Lebanon is on the board. Now, Brownlee, I wonder if he's going to be more assertive in the first quarter because he was very passive yesterday. But JB setting up, moving that ball around. Tamayo still could not get Gilas on the board. But Brownlee with a big offensive rebound. And he gets his first 2 points of the game. JB, throughout the first half yesterday, only had 1 point. He did not even take a single attempt from the field, but immediately becomes the first man to score points in this game against Lebanon. And if you're a Gilas fan, if you're a Brownlee fan, maybe even a Ginebra fan, you're going to love that start for JB and you expect to see more from him. But it's Lebanon's turn to score. They throw the ball away. Excellent defense we're seeing so far from Gilas. It's not that obvious, but I'm sure Coach Tim is quite happy with that stop. Now the next part of it is to convert it to points on the other side. Two apiece. Almost 3 minutes having been played here in Doha. Fajardo working his way underneath. Junmar. The turnaround, the fall away doesn't work. Matok with the board. Lebanon, it's Mezer. Going to Matok with a jam. And that is a classic Lebanon give and go. Pardon me, it's Ater Majok. And he gets on the board with that jam. Brownlee sizing up a defender. No good, they get it back. This perhaps is an experiment also on what positions can work for Gilas with this starting unit of Junmar. Well, he's easily the 5 or the center in this lineup. But then Brownlee and Tamayo almost interchangeable in that 3 and 4 position. As well as, Thompson and Ramos both can be considered combo guards with experience playing the point. And I guess Scotty has experience playing as a big as well. You know how he gets rebounds, he gets the put back and 2 points that time. For all, Philippines, Lebanon. Second game of Gilas Pilipinas in the second Doha International Cup, a pocket tournament. The stop, recovered, eventually taken away, and a foul was whistled. That's going to be Gilas basketball, but I believe Lebanon looking for a call there. Coach Tim Cohn on your screens. Well, both coaches a bit confused at what happened. Leading from the sidelines for Lebanon is Coach Miodrag Perisic. It's Fajardo. Oh, what a move! Oh, could not finish though. Unfortunate miss for June Mar. 5.5 to play in the first. Majok looking at his options. Wants to test the Kraken's defense. Turn around off the glass, no good. Scotty another rebound. For Thompson, that's rebound number 2. Inside, Brownlee could not score. Ball is loose, taken by Tamayo. Another chance for Gilas Pilipinas. It's Thompson attacking. Tried to leave it up to Fajardo. Lebanon on the counter run. The block by Ramos. What a big one. And it's now Gilas' turn to run. Also blocked, but fouled was Brownlee. He's going to head to the line for a pair. And some reactions from the players. The Gilas bench asking for a technical foul on Majok as he complains on that foul called on him. But actually, excellent defense we're seeing from both sides, both teams. There were transition attacks from both teams, but no giving up from either side on defense, and they were able to get the stops. Eventually, a foul called on Majok, and that sends Brownlee to the line. Looks like there's going to be a challenge. Check that. No challenge for Coach Perisic. JB to the line. The lone point that he scored in the first half of earlier's game was a free throw. This time, however, has 3 points. And Gilas Pilipinas takes their first taste of the lead as they're up now 7-4 or 8-4 after that free throw. And a timeout requested now with 4:53 left in the opening quarter. A low-scoring game so far. Neither team really getting any rhythm in this game so far. Back inside Qatar University gym for the continuation of Gilas' second game. We're up against Lebanon, and there was a little bit of a glitch in the score earlier. It did say 8-4, but the official score is 6-4. So yes, this is the first taste of Gilas of the lead. We get another stop. It's Scotty with rebound number 3. He's pushing the basketball. Ginebra connection would not work though, as that pass was broken up by Zaynoun. Coach Tim Cohn still working with that same starting unit that he had. No subs yet, so that means it's Junmar, it's Scotty, Dwight, Carl Tamayo, and Kabayan JB. Where do they go? Brownlee. So lots of time on a shot clock. JB attacks. The kick out to Thompson. 3 from the left side does not work. Fajardo could not get the roll. Rebound taken by Lebanon. They're on the run. They'll try their version of a 3, but they will miss as well. And a foul called on Lebanon. Only their second team foul. Outside shots not working for the Lebanese. They're 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Well, Gilas is also 0 for 3, and that's why this game is low scoring. All in all, Lebanon is 2 for 11 from the field. Gilas, after that miss, is 2 for 14. But the putback there, we've gotten an advantage in offensive rebounding and the putbacks. The hustle, the effort working the Filipinos' way. Almost an escape, but a foul called. Carl Tamayo will be built for that one. There was that push on Hadidyan. Gerard Hadidyan, who scored 10 points and grabbed 4 boards in Lebanon's loss earlier to Egypt. Majok, his second try for a 3 does not work still. And another rebound for Scotty Thompson. He's had a handful of rebounds already. The looper for Dwight couldn't get it to go. Mezer leading the break. Sets up a teammate, but the defense was there. They had to recalibrate their attack. Now they go to what they feel was an advantage that Hadidyan had against Ramos, but a misconnection between the two Lebanese bigs ends up as a turnover for substitutions for Gilas as AJ Edu checks in for Carl Tamayo. AJ Edu yesterday had a solid performance as he had just 6 points but did grab 10 rebounds in his return to the Gilas lineup after missing the entire 2024. But a turnover will start the stat sheet for Edu. There's the block though. Good recovery. Brownlee open court. Goodbye. You have to love the effort of AJ Edu. Turned the ball over, made sure he got it back with the block. And then Brownlee finishing on the other side. Lebanon still unable to hit from deep. Here's Gilas again. Ramos. Oh, that was an air ball for Dwight. You don't see that every day. Lebanon will try again. And that's the first 3 of the game. A conversion coming from Karim Zaynoun. Thompson is open. He takes it. Gilas still empty from beyond the arc. Lebanon running again. Zaynoun bothered by the defense, but Majok with a putback jam. 10-9. 5 straight points for Lebanon. Brings them back to within 1. Here's Fajardo drawing the attention of the defense. Brownlee could have been fouled a couple of times. Finally, a whistle. Now Lebanon will also change up their lineup on the floor. But for both teams' starting lineups, quite heavy minutes. As some players have played the entire first quarter, Ramos gets the inbound. Here's Dwight. Ramos still unable to get his first 2 points of the game. Another shot from deep. Lebanon looking for a foul that they do get the putback. And Lebanon goes back on top after a 7-0 run. About half a minute left in the opening period. Brownlee creating separation, and that's his money maker. Don't give him space 10 to 15 feet from the basket because that's going to go in for JB. Brownlee now with 8. 5 seconds between shot and game clocks. Two-man game. Mezer Majok. That will result in free throws for Lebanon. Foul is on Edu. 10.1 seconds left in the first quarter as we see Newsome and Oftano check in. Two guys who played heavy minutes yesterday and played key roles in Gilas' win over Qatar. Thompson and Ramos will take their seats. Well-deserved rest for those two gentlemen as they are cheered on by the legion of Filipino fans inside the Doha or the Qatar University gym. But of course, there are also some Lebanese fans there. So we're tied up. Majok with 5 points. Also 3 rebounds under his name. And he gives Lebanon the lead. 10.1 seconds for the Philippines to try and get the advantage before the end of the first quarter. Here we go. Referee sorting things out. Newsome trying to make his way, taken away. A steal by Lebanon. They'll try to take a 3. Could not hit. And Edu will no longer make an attempt. The first quarter ends with Lebanon on top by 1. It was a good start for Gilas. However, there was that pretty long stretch where we were silent. We were stuck at 11 points, and eventually it was Lebanon taking the lead. Some numbers from the first quarter of this game between Gilas Pilipinas and Lebanon. Well, Lebanon leads 13-12, but both teams really struggling from the line, or from the field, that is. In the first quarter, Lebanon was only 5 of 19 for 26%. Gilas was 5 of 20, 25%, and we missed all 4 of our attempts from beyond the arc. That's truly where the struggles lied. So hopefully, we get to pick it up. Also, Lebanon capitalizing on the turnovers of Gilas. We only had 4 turnovers compared to the 5 of Lebanon, but the Lebanese scored 5 points from our turnovers, while Gilas did not have any in that department. Let's see how the second quarter moves and changes perhaps in this game. Again, we thank you for joining us as we bring you action from the second Doha International Cup in an early whistle here in the second quarter. Coach Tim baffled with the call that was made. We're also so confused. Okay, so now Gilas has Amos, Oftana. They have Kiambao, Edu, and Nusam on the floor. A miss from inside. Edu gets it back. Oftana, one of the best three-point shooters in the PBA right now. Kiambao, one of the best talents who have yet to hit or reach the PBA, playing internationally currently. And a violation called on Gilas. On that screen by Edu, the referee called that extension. He called a foul on AJ. One thing we're wondering is if we're going to see Jamie Malonzo suit up. Yesterday, did not see action. Still waiting for his return to Gilas, as he also nursed an injury for a stretch of 2024. Lebanon hitting, extending their lead. The three-point shot just refusing to fall in for the Philippines. We might need that weapon eventually. That would obviously open up a Narnia of opportunities for the Philippines. Will they count that? They wave it off. But the foul still called on Oftana. 15-12, the lead for Lebanon. Look at this move. Tough left-handed lay-in. That extended the Lebanon lead to 3 points, 8.5 minutes to play in the first half. When you think about Lebanon, you immediately think Wael Arakji, if we're speaking in the basketball sense. But Arakji unavailable for this particular tournament. Edu asking for that basketball. Oftana still could not break the slump from beyond the arc. Philippines now 0 for 6 from three-point range. Khalil working against Calvin. Well, the three falls in for Lebanon, and that has created some separation for the Lebanese. They now go up by 6 points, the biggest lead that they've had in this game so far. Almost another turnover for Gilas. Again, we did mention they had 20 turnovers against Qatar, and that gave them some difficulty, some trouble. They don't get back, and they allow Lebanon to an easy layup, but there is a whistle. Do they wave the basket off? Seems like they do. They haven't credited the 2 points that Lebanon just scored. So it looks like the basket, that layup doesn't count. And perhaps that's also why Gilas just stopped playing. They didn't even chase the Lebanese players then. They knew it was bound to be a turnover. Oh, but also a turnover on the other side for Gilas as a shot clock violation is whistled. Coach Tim visibly unhappy with what he's seeing from his players so far. Jumper doesn't work. And Kiambao trying to rally his teammates as they've fallen behind by 6. The biggest deficit that the Philippines have faced in this game. We got a long ways to go, but you don't want to play catch up and wait for the fourth quarter, just like what happened in the game against Qatar. Amos turns it over. Lebanon on the run, taking it to the other side. No go. Counter attack. Kiambao or Amos waits for some teammates. Wisely does so. It's Newsome. Offensive foul. Easy call for the referee to make. So Nunu, he did get rid of the defense there. Khalil setting up the offense for Lebanon. We're in the second quarter, but Gilas Pilipinas has been stuck at 12 points. We haven't scored a single point here in the second quarter. Bailout 3, no go. Edu, skies high for the rebound. And Newsome trying to push it. Kiambao. No foul whistle. There was on that shot by KQ. So he'll head to the line as Samaha will be billed for that personal. Chance for Gilas to score their first point in the second quarter. It's been too long of a drought. 4 minutes and 11 seconds have gone by in the second period. Without a point for Gilas, it stays that way as Kiambao misses the first free throw. Kevin Kiambao against Qatar finished with 7 points and 5 rebounds. Very decent contributions. And he also scores the first point of the Philippines in the second quarter. Justin Brownlee already back in the game. Coach Tim hoping to get some spark from the naturalized Pinoy. Lebanon looking for options. They go inside. Hadidian. Well, the towering defense of Edu made it difficult for him to get anything. But Oftana's having some difficulty. Edu needs to cross. He finally does so. Newsome. It's Kiambao who is fouled along the baseline. Samaha will give up that personal again. And Kevin Kiambao, if you saw him play for the NU Bullpups in high school, he was a 4, maybe even a 5, but he has transitioned so well, so seamlessly, can play practically almost all 5 positions. One of the brightest young stars from the Philippines, making waves in the global scene of basketball, especially across the Asian region. We're seeing a lot of Filipinos raise our flag so proudly and so mightily. Oftana slices through the defense, gets it off the glass. So some life being shown by the Philippines. Halfway through the second quarter, Gilas only down by 3. Majok, the handoff. Good defense for Newsome. But a foul is whistled on him. I thought Query had nowhere to go and he was locked up by Newsome, but the foul called on Nunu. This was the drive and the lefty finish by Oftana over the tall and talented defender in Ater Majok. A timeout is requested. Philippines still down by 3, 18-15 against Lebanon.
هنشوفها تاني. لكن دي لا، اللي قبلها المعلم جاد خليل. يا جمالك يا جاد يا ابني، برافو برافو. 5 نقاط كانت في منتهى الأهمية. تايم اوت.
First match, Qatar will meet Lebanon, and in the second match tomorrow night, the Philippines, they will take on Egypt.
Again, we welcome you and we thank you for tuning in to the second Doha International Cup, where Gilas Pilipinas is playing in a pocket tournament with Qatar, which we beat earlier today. Lebanon, we're playing right now, and our final game in this mini competition is against Egypt. I think that's something that we Filipinos have to be proud of, and it's also a testament to how much we love the game of basketball and how much we love our national team. As a big block there made by Gilas. However, on the putback, a foul called. Look at this. Guess who? It's Scotty Thompson rising high for the block. But was the foul called on that? It looked like Scotty had all ball, and that's why he was asking for a review. But again, going back to the point earlier, it just shows you how crazy Filipinos are about basketball and about our national team, Gilas Pilipinas. In the broad sense of it, this game has little to no bearing on future competitions and the bigger battles for Gilas ahead. But here we still are, awake at almost 12 midnight, just hoping to get a win from our national team, and Calvin Oftana helping us get there as he drains the first triple of the Philippines in this game. Majok will test Fajardo. The last time that Ater Majok and Lebanon were in town to play a couple of tune-up games, as Brownlee, wow, saw an opening, just took it to the rack. Justin Noipi, he's playing on a different level here in the first half as compared to how he did in the first half against Qatar. Only had 1 point, but Brownlee now has broken double digits with 12 points already. Check that, that's 10 points for JB. But the lead back with the Philippines after being scoreless in the first 4 minutes of the second quarter. Gilas with a major rally. The three from Oftana. And the transition throwdown for Justin Brownlee. Loving the reactions from the crowd. The Filipinos are awake, aware, and they're cheering so loudly over in Doha, Qatar. The first quarter, Gilas was only 5 for 20 from the field. Well, not much better here in the second quarter, but an improvement none the least. Nonetheless, 3 out of 7 is what Gilas is shooting here in the second quarter. And we've taken the lead back, 20 to 19. Both teams are practically in penalty. Gilas has the basketball with 3 and 28 left in the first half. Let's see if we can extend this rally that we're on. JB, a 3 for Brownlee. Second triple for Gilas. We were struggling so badly, we missed our first 6 attempts, but we've made the last 2, and now Gilas on top by 4. Lebanon looking to answer. A turnover forced by the Filipinos. He will get possession once again with 3:04 left in the second. Momentum has completely swung towards the side of the Philippines. Here's Brownlee again. He's got the hot hand for the Philippines right now. JB. It's now Majok defending him. Brownlee thought about it again. Slices the defense. Goes all the way. 2 more points for Brownlee. He's got 15. And the lead of Gilas is now at its highest of 6 points. Impeccable run from the Philippines. Mezer zigzagging. Hadidyan finally breaks the silence of the Lebanese as he hits a 3-pointer. Gerard Hadidyan again had 10 points yesterday in their loss against Egypt, trying to resuscitate Lebanon, but there's nothing they can do to stop Brownlee. However, he missed there, and that should stay with the Philippines. It does. That was almost down for Brownlee. But still, what a way to bounce back for JB, who only had 1 point in the first half yesterday. Look at this. Now, we're finally seeing, I believe we're finally seeing Troy Rosario on the court. It looks like that's Jamie Malonzo. That's Jamie Malonzo on the court now, making his Gilas return after a long time away as he nursed an injury. Gets the rebound, immediately making impact and helping out his team, our nation. Gilas, another crack at it. Brownlee looking to take Hadidyan one-on-one. Brownlee missing, rebound Majok. Khalil pushing it for Lebanon. They wait for teammates. They reset with Mezer. But Hadidyan, well, he was claiming he got pushed. That's why he didn't get that pass. But their complaints fall on deaf ears. And the Philippines get possession once again. 1.5 minutes remaining. Brownlee. It's now with Thompson. Scotty. It's Oftana again who will try. Thompson on the putback. Still no. But that's rebound number 8 for Thompson as a throwdown on the other side for Lebanon. Karim Artel with that dunk that will make the highlights. But Gilas still up by 1. They're trying to get it to Fajardo. A foul on the entry pass. That will send Fajardo to the free throw line. Both teams already in penalty. So substitutions for Lebanon. Well, seems like there's still, that's the last foul to give. My apologies, that's the last foul to give for Lebanon. Brownlee again, stopped by Majok. They want Fajardo down low. He's denied. They go instead to Oftana, who hits the three to beat the shot clock. That was huge for Calvin Oftana. His second triple, the third for Gilas.
لما كان لا يتم تفعيل
Down to the last 20 seconds of the first half.
اللقاء لكن مع نجاح هذه التصويت
And Lebanon will try to take the last attempt of this quarter.
لابد من التركيز لكن مش مستحيل
They attack the lob. Good connection. There's a foul too. So Hadidyan, they've been looking for him, and he's showing us why. He's been providing for Lebanon in this game. Hadidyan now at 8.
هو ده لبنان هي دي الحلاوه هو ده الجمال ورميه حره اضافيه تاني والتصويبه يا مزهر يا مزهر
Great connection there.
حرير والوحش جيرار نحنديان يطير في السماء ويسجل
6.1 seconds left.
هو ده الكلام هو ده الكلام افتحوا نفسنا حتى يتم يعني نشوف المباراه في
Here's
الملعب
Lebanon at the line,
لان
unable to complete the three-point play.
لبنان بما حضر
Brownlee rushing.
وتصويب
Thompson could not beat
تضيع
the clock, and the first half ends with the Philippines up by 2, 28 to 26. What an action-packed ending to the second quarter for Gilas. So lots of things to clean up from our performance in the first half, and for sure Coach Tim will address those in the halftime huddle, but we'll be glad to take a 2-point lead into the dugout the second half when we return.
شكرا للزميل أشرف توفيق. إذا نهاية هذا الشوط الأول وتقدم المنتخب الفلبيني على لبنان ب 28 نقطة مقابل 26 في شوط حقيقة مثير من الناحية الفنية. الكثير من التغيرات على مستوى فترات هذا الشوط الأول. على كل سنتحدث بأكثر تفاصيل مع كل من الكابتن أحمد وأيضا الكابتن حاتم مملوك. حاتم، بداية قلت في فترات
بره. واحنا شفنا ازاي ان الكوتش بتاع منتخب لبنان قدر في اخر الكوارتر الثاني ان هو يرجع يلعب مان تو مان، وده ادى فرصه ان اللعيبه زي براونلي واللعيبه كلها تاخد وتروح على الباسكت، لان واحد على واحد الفوارق البدنيه كبيره والفوارق المهريه كبيره. فالموضوع كله اعتقد عند منتخب لبنان، عند منتخب الفلبين. منتخب الفلبين هيرجع في بدايه الكوارتر ده لو قدر انه يحط كورتين ثلاثه تحت الباسكت بالطريقه اللي احنا متعودين ان احنا نشوفه فيها، ولو ما اتحلتش ان الكره تخرج بره، اعتقد ان الماتش ده هيروح للنتيجه يعني هتكون كبيره شويه. فمنتخب لبنان لغايه دلوقتي عامل جود جيم، منتخب لبنان عمل جود جيم في ظل الامكانيات اللي موجوده دي. ما تقدرش تلاقي حلول في غياب كي بلايرز زي وائل زي سيرجيو زي كريم، ما تلاقيش حلول. اللعيبه بتشوط وبتجيب او بتشوط وبتجلي.
It's halftime in Doha, Qatar, and Gilas Pilipinas ahead by 2 points over Lebanon in the second game of the second Doha International Cup. Yesterday, or should I say earlier, today we beat Qatar to open up our mini tournament here. And again, today we're facing Lebanon holding a 2-point lead in what has been a very low scoring affair here. To wrap things up, we'll face Egypt, but the focus, of course, is here first, dito muna sa Lebanon. It hasn't been the best game for Gilas. We can't sugarcoat that. And, well, for them, Justin Brownlee and Calvin Oftana have combined for 23 of the 28 points of Gilas Pilipinas. Dwight Ramos and Junmar Fajardo, who top scored for Gilas in the game against Qatar with 15 points and 12 points respectively, they are a combined 0 for 6 from the field in this game so far. Neither guys have scored, and while we're happy to have the lead, despite the subpar performance so far, we're hoping that Gilas picks it up here in the second half. We know that Lebanon will be sticking around and will be trying to take that lead and take the W away from us. But here we go. Coach Tim still using that same five that he started the game with as Tamayo. Well, they count the basket because they just called a flop on Mezer. Or that's on Khalil. A flop was called on Khalil. But unfortunately, it seems like the basket of Tamayo will be taken away. And Ramos unable to hit the technical free throw, which is very uncanny for someone like Dwight. Really has had a hard time. But, you know, we keep on harping on how quick of a turnaround it's been for Gilas. Look at that connection, but they wave it off. They say that Scotty was still on his way into the court. In short, in the terms that we use when we play in our barangay leagues, galing sa labas. And the referee might have a point, even though Scotty is requesting for a challenge, and Coach Tim might actually challenge. He's asking for an explanation right now. Well, they eventually end up not challenging it. It's unfortunate because remember, Tamayo actually scored in the first try of that attack. It got waved off because of a technical foul due to flopping for Khalil. Ramos missed the technical free throw and a turnover called before that shot by Thompson. And on the other side, Khalil ties the game up at 28, leading the way for Lebanon. Well, it's been a balanced attack for them, but Khalil now has 7 points for them. Another turnover for the Philippines. Ater Majok with 6 points and 4 rebounds, following his 17.11 rebound performance in their game yesterday against Egypt. They lost that one 82-70. Majok could not get the putback jam. Hadidyan will attack and will be fouled by Fajardo. 2 free throws coming Lebanon's way. For Gilas, we've seen most of our guys. Even Jamie Malonzo has seen action in today's game. The 2 guys on the lineup that we haven't seen yet, Troy Rosario and CJ Perez.
ضمن الصعود لنهائيات آسيا خلاص. الويندو القادم تحصيل حاصل مالوش
Haridian scores
سواء للبنان اللي شايفين
from the free throw line, and he gives Lebanon a 2-point lead, 30-28.
ازاي صالة الوسيل كانت
That quick turnaround is certainly a major factor because not only is Gilas playing their second game in less than 24 hours, they also came from flights. And they will take a flight both to Taiwan, to Chinese Taipei, and to New Zealand.
اتنين ورا رجله والكورة.
They rule it a backward violation.
لسان حال الحكم السعودي المميز بصراحة.
Well, for being honest, since yesterday, there have been some questionable calls being made there in Qatar, but you know we can't use those as excuses for. Well, I think some would really call this lackluster play we're seeing for Gilas. We know that we can perform at a higher level, and that's what Coach Tim Cohn will call from his troops during this timeout.
أفضل لاعب في المنتخب اللبناني هو عمل التعادل وبعد كده عمل 3 بوينت. إذا 5 بوينت باك تو باك لجاد يعطي مقدمة للبنان. تايم اوت أكيد فلبيني، إحساس بالخطورة وعنوانها جاد خليل.
It's been said numerous times before, no matter where Gilas Pilipinas plays, there's always home court advantage. And for sure, in Doha, Qatar,
28
a city where there are so many Filipinos, they've come out to support the national team.
جاد خليل
And Gilas hoping that they get to bounce back. You know, the storyline here in the third quarter is quite similar to the start of the second, where we just couldn't score. Gilas still scoreless as Lebanon opens this third quarter with a 7-0 run. Finally, Dwight Ramos, his first basket, his first 3 points of this game. And this might be good signs of things to come for Dwight. Khalil. Now it's Mezer. Lebanon running with a 2-point guard lineup on the floor. 2 facilitators, but still unable to get anything there as an errant attempt for Khalil. Tamayo creating space for Dwight Ramos, who has scored 5 quick points, a mini personal run for St. Dwight, evening up the count at 33. Now it's Lebanon taking the outside shot. Nope. Majok, offensive rebound. Fajardo and Brownlee all over him. It hasn't been easy for Ater Majok. He takes a 3. That's empty. Brownlee on the move. Thompson going to Tamayo. Back to JB. Supreme ball movement for Gilas. And we're back on top by 2, 35-33. Brownlee now pushing 17 points. They go up top. Majok missing the Australian, Sudanian, and Lebanese national, unable to have the same impact he had against Egypt as he's matched up against Junmar Fajardo. Here's Brownlee again. Kick out to Tamayo. Extra pass. Ramos short. On the run is Lebanon. Mezer all the way to the cup is fouled. And that's going to mean 2 free throws for Lebanon.
وسرعة الانتقال من الدفاع للهجوم. علي مزهر بيعملها.
Ali Mezer fearlessly attacking the defense of Ramos and Tamayo, but this was how sweet the ball movement was for Gilas Pilipinas. On the other side,
لما بيكون في ترانزيشن
the extra dish from Tamayo to the wide open Brownlee, who now has 17 points after a quiet 10-point performance in the win over Qatar. JB was only 3 for 8 from the field. Also had 5 turnovers in that game.
على طول.
But he's trying to bounce back
باسكت يا فوزي
and is
الاتنين
doing
مع
so very, very well.
وضعية
But they need
المدافعين
stops.
بتكون مش في أفضل حال.
Hadidyan, offensive rebound, could not get the roll. It's secured by Edu.
حاول ودفاع ضاغط لبنان.
Lebanon pushing their defense to the backcourt, opening up an opportunity for Gilas. The lob, Brownlee to Edu, add 2 more to the lead of the Philippines.
رجليها ثابتة على الأرض. رجليها مش هترتبك.
Ali Mezer,
مش هيحصل
5:40 left in the third.
يحصل له يعني حيرة في ضرب هذا التراك.
Jumper for Lebanon, that's too strong. And another rebound for Scotty Thompson, who, check this, Scotty has 10 rebounds. They said
هذا البريشر
he couldn't do it on the international scene. He said he wasn't built for that big of a stage. But look at Scotty now doing the same things that he does in the PBA to wow us.
الترانزيشن هو
Mezer straight to the cup,
كلام. هو
bridging the gap a little bit. Ali Mezer,
برافو برافو. مزهر
just 3 points for that man.
مزهر يسجل التقليص. تصبح الفارق
Lead of
نقطة
Gilas down to 1.
واحدة. قوية.
Edu has it.
غلق المساحات من لا
To Ramos, spinning baseline. He had a shot, but opted to leave it for Fajardo, is fouled by Majok.
ولكن التمريرة والفاول على
Dwight was already all alone and no one really going up there with him when he jumped, but he had the intention of dishing it to Junmar. Well, you can't question the ball movement right now of Gilas because it has resulted to things like this. But also on the other side, it's Ali Mezer looking extra eager in attacking that paint.
نقطة وحيدة.
He's trying to make things happen for Lebanon too.
حتى الآن
But Fajardo finally
قبل
getting on the board.
من الوصول
Would you believe that this is Junmar's first point despite having played 21 minutes already?
نجاح لرمية حرة أولى.
He's been busy though in
ثانية من
defending and getting some rebounds for the Philippines.
الجمهور الفلبيني بيحييه طبعا.
Gets 2 free throws and the lead of the Philippines back up to 3. Junmar will sit. Newsome
اضطراب الفاول
will re-enter the ball game.
عشان كده الكوتش ما كانش معتمد عليه في الفترة.
Halfway through the third quarter,
أوقات العمليات.
Thompson on Mezer. They go up to Majok, and that's easy 2 points
اعمل الانسايد
for Lebanon.
على طول. الحارس الخاص ليه فخاردو.
No need for further chemistry building between Mezer and Majok. They've been on that national team together for quite some time now.
لاعب الارتكاز القوي في منتخب
Newsome
الفلبين.
to Brownlee inside to Edu, pass a little too tight.
خروج الكرة خارج الملعب.
It's broken up
مصلحة. هنا
by Samaha, but it will stay with the Philippines.
تشاور مع مساعدين.
This game has been very close throughout.
كرة جديدة
Thompson.
فلبينية.
Looking for a teammate. He gets Edu. Thought about the 3. Down to 4 seconds on the clock. A miss for Thompson. They get the offensive rebound. Another chance for Gilas. Newsome looking for Brownlee. Sees an opening. Drains the jumper.
أريحية كبيرة يتم التسجيل من براون.
And that's a triple for JB.
من التسجيل.
That's his second 3.
أصبح للفلبين.
Oh, check that. It's a long 2. They reduce it to a long 2. Majok again with Junmar sitting down. It's Lob City
أدغال.
for Lebanon down in the paint.
أتر ماجوك يطير ويسجل.
Ater Majok also catching up in terms of points.
عودة لبنان لكن الديفنس
Now with 10.
على طول.
But
كل هجمة.
how about that sweet floater from AJ Edu?
هجمة عادية تلاقي
For someone who stands 6'10", has a soft touch,
للاعب اللي في
something
المكان
that
الأفضل.
will come in useful as we face the giants of the world.
لوحدي بالكورة، أروح أنا أخلص الدريبل لا مين افضل مني
Ramos
هنا شوف على طول
leaving it for Edu again. Extra pass. Brownlee missing. Picked up by Thompson. Rebound number 11. It's Brownlee again against the smaller Khalil. Brownlee to Edu. Floater no good. JB.
تمركز دفاعي
Thompson again.
كسب والفاول موجود على علي مزهر والأطول.
Well, the basket count was the foul on that shot by Thompson. Or did it come beforehand?
في المركز الأفضل مني هي
But what effort we're seeing from Scotty Thompson,
الأرك الداخلي تحت السلة حصل التمرير
who has hit double digits in rebounds, yet the basket counts for Scotty. 11 boards already for him, on top of 6 points. A timeout requested by Lebanon before Scotty shoots the bonus free throw. If you just base on the number of fans that you're seeing on your screens and the number of flags that we're seeing also in the stands, iisipin nyo that this game is being played sa Mo Arena or maybe sa Smart Araneta Coliseum. But no, this is being played in Doha, Qatar, which is almost serving as a second home court for Gilas Pilipinas. Because this Qatar University gym is filled, it's packed with Filipinos who have been waiting for quite some time now to see their idols, to see the national team compete there.
وتبديله هنا
And the team is doing that in the second Doha International Cup. We won our first game against host team Qatar and now play against Lebanon, where we have built a 6-point lead,
وزيادة
built on the efforts of Scotty Thompson, who has 6 points, 11 rebounds,
3 دقائق تفصلنا
and 3 assists. He also has a steal, but down on the other side, the response.
ومهارة وتسجيل لزينون زينون بالمهارة
Lebanon not letting up.
في أحد أنواع
It's Zaynoun
اللبناني
who attacks
اسمها كريم زينون.
and lose that one over the outstretched arms of Edu. You know that one of the strengths of Edu is his defense. We saw it in the 2023 FIBA World Cup. But Zaynoun still able to get past that and completes the 3-point play.
وزينون والكرة اللبنانية بتقليص الفارق ب5 نقاط. لازم نقلل وكمان نزل
So Gilas' lead down to 3.
هو الفارق الآن
Newsom
وهذا اللاعب اللي يعني
going to Brownlee. That turnaround jumper is money.
التسجيلات بهذه
What a performance for Brownlee.
براونلي قلت لحضرتك
21 points now for Justin Noipi.
في المنتخب الفلبيني وضمن التشكيلة
It's
الأساسية
Khalil.
المهمة فلبينيا.
They dump it down low to Majok, who has been the biggest problem for the Philippines here in this third period. He finds a teammate, but Thompson was there for the block.
صراحة دي ما فيهاش حاجة تانية. لكن كانت الإعاقة الأولى لصالح آتر ماجوك.
Scotty Thompson has been incredible, but
خروج الكرة خارج الملعب.
he's unable to connect with Justin Brownlee on that pass. Ends up as a Gilas turnover, but Scotty is the reason why the Filipinos inside the Qatar University gym are on their feet with the plays that he has displayed here.
تعليمات
My goodness. The former PBA MVP
الآن 5 نقاط.
getting
تبديل
those high fives, those love taps from his teammates and getting the cheers from the Filipinos in the stands.
محاولات الدخول والكيك اوت.
CJ Perez checking in for the first time. An opening for Lebanon. They hit the 3.
فنان علي مزهر الفنان يظهر
Mizher has been facilitating very well for Lebanon. And another turnover. That's another error for Brownlee, which uncannily has been the downside of his game here. Not just in this particular contest, but in this tournament. Because yesterday, in the game against Qatar, he had 5 errors. And now Khalil gets foul taking a 3. So that's 3 free throws. For the Lebanese guard, he was way out. But that screen from Majok opened him up, and when Newsom tried to close out, that's where Nunu was built for a foul. You gotta give respect to Ater Majok. He has long been one of the best ball screen action rollers in the region. And that's why when you look at highlights from FIBA tournaments, international competitions, you'll always find an Ater Majok alley-oop off a high ball screen action. He's just been so excellent in that role. Khalil has been good too for Lebanon, and he's able to give them the lead back. He's the top scorer right now for the Lebanese with a total of 13 points off the bench. And he heads back to the bench. Still a long ways to go. We're just in the final minute and 10 of the third quarter. Brownlee attacking Hadidyan, and that's going to be the 3rd straight turnover for Justin Brownlee. Yes, he has 21 points, almost half of the output of Gilas Pilipinas, but we're getting hurt with a lot of errors here in the third period. The Lebanese attack broken up. It will stay with them with 11 seconds on the clock. That was a lob intended for Majok. Did not reach the intended receiver. Mezer dumps it down low. Sent back, but a recovery for Lebanon. They're able to extend the lead to 3. It's been Khalil and Hadidyan. Those two guys are giving the Philippines problems. And that's aside, of course, for Majok being involved in a lot of those two-man games. Newsom has been unhappy with a number of the calls. And it looks like Nunu may have hurt his left hand. We hope he's all right. We did see him kind of wincing in pain as he was assisted back to the bench, and there Chris Newsom being attended to on the Gilas bench. We're hoping that it's nothing too serious. Oftana going to Kiambao. Stops. Jumper too strong. Edu loses control. It's back with Lebanon, and they can take the last shot of the third quarter. Mezer being guarded by Perez. Almost taken away by Edu. Mezer attacks the heart of the Gilas defense. Sends it out. 3 on the way. Doesn't work. Full court heave. Oftana will be unable to hit. And it's going to be a 3-point lead for Lebanon. 51-48 to end the third quarter. Gilas, it seemed like they were ready to take control midway through the third with a big run, but eventually Lebanon coming back and reclaiming the advantage. The fourth quarter coming up in just a bit. Again, we thank you for joining us in the wee hours of the morning as we support Gilas Pilipinas in their participation here in the second Doha International Cup. We're up against Lebanon, down by 3 as we enter the fourth quarter. Here's the situation for Gilas. Justin Brownlee has 21 of the 48 points of the team. He's shooting 9 of 17, which is 52%, but the rest of the team is just 10 for 36, and that's 28%, a number that needs to go up because Brownlee, yesterday, he was giving way to the locals because he didn't have the best of offensive performances. That's a game we won. But it's a formula that we already know that we can't depend completely on Justin Brownlee, as talented a player as he is. Basketball is a team game, and we're going to need our locals to show up as well, hoping to see a better performance here in the fourth quarter. We're only down by 1. Second of 3 games that Gilas Pilipinas will be playing in Doha. 1 against Qatar in our initial game. We play Egypt after this one. But the focus is here, trying to take a win over Lebanon. AJ Edu. Zainoun asking him to admit that he had the last touch. Edu says, nope, I didn't. Ball will stay with Gilas with 15 on their shot clock. Kiambao had to put it up, or it was 1.5. I stand corrected. 1.5 was left, and that's why Kiambao had to put it up. Khalil. Elbow jumper. Bottom of the net. It's been so steady for Lebanon. Now with 15 points. That's following up his performance against Egypt. Brownlee for 3. No go. We need stops now. Khalil to Majok. The hot hand for Lebanon. Zainoun from the corner. Unable to hit the 3. And Brownlee closing in on a double-double as he grabs another rebound. That's his 9th board. But perhaps a problem is the 4 turnovers. It's good, however, when he finds mismatches. Even though that shot missed, it opened up an opportunity for Edu to get that putback. But we need to stop plays like this from Khalil because he's torching us from the mid-range. JB gets his spot. There's that turnaround. Couldn't get it though. Majok, another rebound. 7 boards now for Ater Majok. Zainoun. His jumper rims out. On the offensive rebound, it's Majok with an end one opportunity. The veteran, 37-year-old Ater Majok, just picking apart AJ Edu. When Majok came here to the Philippines, there was one young kid who drew praises from him, and it was Kai Soto. Because Majok at that time was already a veteran, but Kai Soto, when they played a tune-up game, he tried to dunk on Majok, and that earned the respect of Ater. But right now, Lebanon giving Gilas Pilipinas problems. Hadidian getting some love from his teammates as he got a breakaway jam, and he extends the Lebanon lead. It's highest now at 7 points with 7 and 16 left in the fourth. if we go back to yesterday's game against Qatar, at around this same time, with about 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Gilas was down by about 7 to 8 points. That was where the lead of Qatar was ranging. And eventually, Gilas mounted a comeback to steal the win away. Now, while that gives us a lot of hope in this game, you never want to play catch up. You always want to try and set the tone. But Lebanon has been fighting. They've been a tough team. They've given Gilas a lot of problems, mostly coming from Atermajok, Gerard Hadidyan, and Jad Khalil. Here's Newsom feeding Brownlee on that pocket pass. Bothered by Majok was Ramos, and he was unable to finish. Lebanon pushing. Khalil again, involving his teammates this time. They reset their offense. He's being chased by Oftana. Jad Khalil. Zainoun sees an opening, puts it up. The three goes in, and this is the first double-digit lead of the game. It's taken by Lebanon. 6.5 to go in the fourth. Brownlee looking to come alive again. It's Newsom. Throws the ball away. Zainoun leaving it up. Hadidyan, another jam. And momentum has completely swung and shifted to the side of Lebanon. Ramos, another turnover for Gilas. We mentioned it. That was their problem against Qatar. That's why it took the last few minutes of the game for them to catch up. And again, problems in taking care of that basketball for Gilas Pilipinas. Total of 17 turnovers already. But this game is not lost yet. It's a 12-point lead for Lebanon. If you're Gilas, we have to make our move now. And that's exactly what Newsom is trying to do, as he's able to draw a foul on Query. 5:31, time not on the Philippines' side. Here's Brownlee taking the three, unable to hit it. And a push called on Fajardo. That's going to be a foul on the Kraken. Foul number 3 on Junmar. And breaks just not working towards the side of the Philippines right now. Khalil gets it to a teammate. It's Zainoun. His pass tipped away by Newsom. And Nunu will leave 9 seconds on the shot clock for Lebanon. Gilas in need of not just a stop, but multiple stops at this point. And the important thing also is to convert on their side. Khalil, oh, that's a big one. That hurt. That hurt for Gilas. And the lead of Lebanon has ballooned to 15. Newsom is clobbered on his way to the basket. Khalil washing his hands clean of that foul, of that collision, but Newsom visibly hurt. Usually, Chris Newsom, he's as tough as they get, and he usually just props back up. This time, though, taking some extra rest on the floor. But it's good to see him back on the court, because earlier it looked like he had hurt his left hand and had to exit the game. He was attended to on the bench. Back on the court now. And he'll be ready to take free throws, but Lebanon has built this lead. It's been the start of the quarters that Gilas has really struggled with. Start of the third,
هل عملية
a 7-0 run for Lebanon. In the second quarter, we also slowly started the period. We were scoreless for the first 4 minutes. And here, in this quarter, a little past halfway already, Gilas is being outscored by Lebanon 14-2. That is how this 15-point lead of Lebanon was built.
الدفع هذه إشارة
But it looked like an unsportsmanlike foul was whistled.
وحيازة فيليبي
And that's why Newsom is alone on the free throw line, taking a couple. Missed the first one though. The second is good.
اللي هي الرمية الحرة. نيوسم بيعمل أسوأ مبارياته. كان عنده أمل بكرة يروح يلاعب
So the
مصر
unsportsmanlike foul was actually called on
لكن
Atermajok.
المنتخب اللبناني دخل الحزمة. المنتخب اللبناني ينتظر غدا فوز الفلبين حتى يتم ترتيب المباراة لو انتهى.
Farther now it's with Brownlee.
وكمان إيه؟
JB
بفرق
to
كبير.
Oftana.
الآن منتخب
He
لبنان
steps back.
هيعمل
Did he
حزب
have a
بيرما.
foot on the line?
حزب بيرما مين؟ حزب بيرما مين؟ احنا الفلبينيين.
Might have had a foot on the line. Nonetheless, we'll take the points.
لا تجعلونا
However many they will be.
نتذكر أمس. اوعوا تخلونا نفتكر مباراة أمس. لا
Mezer back on the floor. It's Zaynoun now. And a body check for Ramos.
المنتخب بقى اللبناني
That
متماسك
decks
عنده حجم خبرات
the
كبيرة
Lebanese guard.
ويعي درس الأمس. وفاول إيه؟ لا ده تعمد
Ramos clearly
ولا-
giving
لا-
up
لا-
that
لا.
foul as he got beat initially.
وهنا
Yeah, as we
التصويبة
expected.
الأخيرة
Only a
فيها
long
خطأ
two for Oftana as he had his foot on the line.
مش ثلاثية أكيد. مش ثلاثية أكيد.
Coach Perisic will ask for a review. I think he's hoping for something more than a common foul. Because on the other side, his big man, Atermajok, was called for an unsportsmanlike foul. So naturally, if you're the coach, you're hoping that this gets elevated too because you feel that,
إعادة
you know, your player got hurt. You want to protect your player.
الحكم الدولي القطري هي اللي
So let's see what the referees find in this review.
حكام دولة قطر وهي
But it's a 12-point lead for Lebanon. And again, we go back to the start of quarters. We've started pretty much every quarter slowly because the first quarter,
ما فيهاش
both teams could not score early on. The score is 4-4 halfway through the first period. And like we said, first 4 minutes of the second quarter, scoreless. 7-0 run for Lebanon to start the third. And then 14-2 rally to open up the fourth quarter for Lebanon. That is where the problems have stemmed from for Gilas Pilipinas.
يا راموس انت لاعب كبير
And more problems
لبنان الآن
pile up
هي الأقرب
as the
للفوز.
foul on Dwight Ramos
عاوزين نحافظ على الأمل.
gets elevated to an
يا
unsportsmanlike one.
معلم يا معلم فرجنا يا زينون يا معلم طيب زيادة
And that
للفارق.
means that challenge for Miodrag
لاعب
Perisic.
جديد، لاعب كبير،
That was a brilliant
لاعب
challenge.
يقدر وقت
He got
الإنتاج
the
الأهم.
resolution that he wanted.
كريم زينون بعد ما سجل الرميتين وادى الفرق ل 12 نقطة. المنتخب المصري الآن يتابع
4-20
وأيضا هو
left in the
ينتظر
game.
النتيجة وينتظر
Zaynoun
الفارق وننتظر
will be
هنا
fouled again.
رميتين حرتين للبنان.
Would it be on Ramos though?
فوز المنتخب اللبناني اليوم
Oh yes, that will be
هيدخلوا
on
حسبة
Dwight.
الصدارة.
So back-to-back fouls on Dwight Ramos. He hasn't had
لأن منتخب مصر
the
أمام
best of
الفلبين
games.
إلا لو
That will be
أنهاها
foul number
غداً
4, I
المنتخب
believe,
المصري
on Dwight.
بالعلامة الكاملة هيبقى منتخب لبنان في حالة
He had that
فوز
stretch in the
غداً
third quarter
هيبقى هو
where
المركز التاني.
Dwight
لكن
scored
هزيمته
5 straight
النهاردة
points,
أمام منتخب الفلبين
brought life back to the
هتكون
Philippines because they were
أكبر
trailing at that
أماله
point.
البرونزية.
But those are the only 5 points he has in the entire
هنا
game.
اختلاط الأوراق.
He's 2 of 6 from the field.
اختلاط الأوراق.
Jumar Fajardo is 0 for 4. So it's been that kind
خلينا نشوف مش عاوزين
of a
نفرح بفوز
performance for
المنتخب
Gilas
اللبناني
Pilipinas.
إلا لما نطمن أمام
Of course, we're
منتخب.
treating these
أنا
games
شايف
as
الفرق
preparation
كبير. أنا
games.
شايف
We're
الفرق
trying to build
كبير.
on
خاصة لو ضغطنا
the stuff that we'll
بالديفنس يا
need
وحش يا وحش يا
to
زينون.
call ourselves
الديفنس
ready for
مهم
the
الآن.
FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers third window and for the FIBA Asia Cup itself. But every time you step on the court, you want to give it your all. You want to perform. You want to go out and get the win.
بيحاول
Brownlee
الآن
to
بيمرر.
Newsom.
وهنا
Gets
في
rid of the defense. Nunu could not hit the
أسوأ
three.
مباريات هذا اللاعب
Rebound
سامويل.
taken by Lebanon.
تاني الكرة.
They're holding on to a
الكرة
16-point
تعود
lead now, under 4 minutes
لبنانية.
left in regulation.
الكرة تعود لبنانية.
Mezer,
عزيزي المشاهد.
met by Oftana.
والله نقطة مهمة يا تامر. بيقول لي انت عرفت منين منتخب مصر كسب
It's
النهاردة؟
Query,
صحيح صحيح.
Mark Query, attacking baseline. Had to send it out. They have to take the shot against the shot clock. Nope, rebound Hadidian against 3 blue shirts, loses it.
بخبراتك
Oftana picks it up. They're pushing. Ramos back to Calvin. Losing control. Lebanon asking for a travel. Ramos puts it up and misses.
ما عادش النهارده. ما عادش راموس. ما عادش
And
راموس.
Gilas
والمنتخب
just
اللبناني
has
على
been
بعد
unable to
خطوات.
protect that basketball. Another turnover for them.
اختلطت كل
And that is now rebound or turnover number 18.
مرة تانية مرة تانية. المنتخب اللبناني بيؤكد تفوقه.
Hadidian will post up against Ramos. Throws it away. Newsom.
اوعى الفاول. اوعى الفاول.
Out of bounds is the whistle.
ان سبورت سميل لايك فاول. زينون بيقول له هتحسبها عليا متعمد هتديني الكرة اوت سايد. فيعني
And it will be Gilas basketball. Newsom will head back to the bench.
اليوم كريس خارج الخدمة تماما.
Could that be the last that we'll see of Newsom in this game?
الكاميرا هنا تراقب راموس.
Brownlee also exiting. Under 3 minutes, 16-point lead for Lebanon.
أكتر النقاط. المنتخب الفلبيني مش عارف يسجل.
Fajardo continues to miss.
69 53.
It was tough. It was tough for Gilas to have that kind of a turnaround. Just less than 24 hours, they're back on the court. But the turnovers really killed us in this game. And even that transition attack for Perez, which is normally 2 points already for CJ, well, he got blocked there. And the effort of Lebanon was simply there. It simply trumped what we saw from Gilas. But hey, we still have one more game in this pocket tournament. That's going to be up against Egypt. Query missing. Perez comes away with it. CJ looking to attack. Oftana. Calvin unable to hit the 3. Well, we did hit 4 3-pointers, but our percentage is way down. 4 of 24, just 16% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, for Lebanon, they shot 7 of 26 from beyond the arc. That's 26%. I mean, we did miss a lot of shots that normally our players would make. 16-point lead for Lebanon. Minute and a half remaining. Mezer throws it away. Perez leading the break. It's Oftana. Could not get the roll. Not even that. The woes of Gilas on offense. And no one stopping the lane, or no last line of defense there, as Fajardo had his back turned against Hadidian. And Hadidian now up to 16 points. Khalil with 18. Zaynoun with 13. And then Majok also has 12. Those are the 4 players for Lebanon who will finish this game in double figures with this impending win. So it will be contrary results to what these two teams had in their primary games in the second Doha International Cup. Because initially, Lebanon lost to Egypt 82-70. Gilas Pilipinas won against Qatar 74-71. But barring any crazy miracle, this is a win. Gonna be a win for Lebanon. They even extend their lead to 19. But if you just joined us recently and you saw that, oh, it's a blowout. Uy, tambak ang Gilas. It wasn't the case for all 40 minutes of this game, because In the fourth quarter, Gilas was only able to score 5 points up to this point.
لكن هي ليلة حزينة
Lebanon,
حزينة
they've been able to score 22. So
المنافسين على نيوزيلندا
17 is the advantage of Lebanon here in the fourth. We actually opened up the final frame with the Lebanese just up by 3 points.
إذا هو مرشح
And they just capitalized on the opportunities they saw and broke the game wide open here in the fourth quarter. Not even from the free throw line can we score this point. Finally, CJ Perez gets the second, only the sixth point of Gilas Pilipinas in this fourth frame. Under a minute to go, Lebanon about to get their first win in the second Doha International Cup. Gilas will be absorbing their first loss. It's been this guy providing a lot of energy as he does so again. I mean, I've lost count of how many dunks Gerard Hadidyan has had in this game. Probably about 5 already. There's a spring to his step, and he always is the first one to get out in transition. Outside shot still, we've been harping on that story because the three-point shooting of Gilas in this game was non-existent. 4 of 27, as Gilas will be limited to just 6 points in the fourth quarter. Lebanon escapes with the win. And I said escape because while this ends up to be a 21-point win, like you said, it wasn't easy for them in the first 3 quarters. In fact, Gilas even had the lead as big as 6 points. But the Lebanese turned on the Jets in the fourth quarter, taking a 75-54 win. They're led by 18 points each from Jed Khalil and Gerard Hadidyan. For Gilas Pilipinas, Brownlee had 21 points, 11 rebounds as well, but only but he had 4 turnovers. And for Scotty Thompson, he had 7 points, 11 rebounds too. Junmar Fajardo only 2 points in this game, and Bright Ramos just 5. As we wrap things off here, we thank you for joining us for this presentation of the second Doha International Cup.
مثير ومغاير تماما لما تابعناه في شوط المباراة الأول. وكابتن